And we're going to start with the acceptance of the secretary's report from the last meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept them. They were excellent as usual, Ann. Thank you.
Thank you. So I second.
Okay,
Yeah, nobody found any typos or anything this time,
Okay.
so that was good.
so nobody has any questions and whatever. So all in favor of accepting last month's secretary's report, say aye.
Aye.
Nay? I mean, any nays? I'm not nay. Okay, it has passed. Now we have the treasurer's report.
June 12th, 2024, treasurer's report. COA, the gift account. The balance is $8,044.80. And this month there were no donations. COA food pantry account. There were donations of $350 from private donations. And there were expenses, WB Mason paper products in Market Basket for $1,068.29.
Great.
So far, expense line items were as of the end at $927.96. We'll be spending with the gas receipts and that other expenses, typical expenses of the ones that will be down to zero. But if you look at this page below our expenses there, it says special articles.
Right.
So those are the articles I was referring to. There's money left over with the dues. Didn't use it all.
Mm-hmm.
So what I gathered from last night's meeting, asked Julie about the process.
Right. They may want you to return that.
I know that.
Mm-hmm.
So that or.
Right. They don't use the money if it doesn't come out of the general fund. Right.
Can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we now go on to the director's report, unless you want to intersperse.
Some things that again, our years old. We had an issue this past month where the AC wasn't working for it. It works fine for the driver, but not for the participants and them riders. So we did take it, we did need to get it recharged. We're informed that this is the second year we've had to do this. We're possibly by it's going to be. But you're told that we'll get through the season without making that major change. So the van basically was charged, the custom alarm paid for their annual inspection of the building. Since we went over to the new system, we went over to it a year or so ago, using Verizon instead of the old Verizon Fios. Instead of the old phone line, it's our cost of done for our annual inspection and our annual monitoring. However, it is what it is. It's not about $700. So we did house our inspection every year, $705 as opposed to $400 as used to be. It's just whatever reason it's more expensive than price. Yes. And this is the building fire system. Okay. Daily monitoring system. I'm just pleased to say that we do not have issues we would have. And so when it rains, the Verizon copper lines affected our alarm is not working properly. We were getting calls. That's what happened. I have finally broken it down and I've got more I got quotes in the fall, broken and they seem to be in line with what I was thinking out there, you know, in general public, but I put it off. You know, we've been using a donated copier upstairs, we bought little cartridges, which just are tedious, they, go through them quickly, they're expensive, so I went back to Broken in the spring, and the price had gone up $30. It's, you know, I just, you know,
Is this a laser printer? Okay, laser. Okay, so you don't need any cartridges. I know they're more expensive, the laser printers. Yes, and you use a lot of printing. Whenever we need decorations or anything, I lose the money with everything that I buy if there's a tax on it. I don't get reimbursed, but I do that gladly. But if they have an account, they should use it. See? No, but I mean, that was good that you did tell them that. Always give them an opportunity to meet Amazon's. They're very expensive.
Just go back to one thing. You said it's over $700 just to check the system out
Yes.
every year. Where does that money come from? Is that built into the budget? So it's already built in. Okay.
That's built in there. And then we also have to pay the daily monitoring, that's $750. So I don't know if the town ever, but I don't know how many contracts we have in the custom department, but certainly we were. We probably all paid for it.
That's- Sounds like a lot.
Yeah, well, because they had been 450 and
Yeah.
470.
Wow.
Like, that was the old. So
Did we increase the amount on that line item for
yes.
the budget?
But that line item covers a lot, it covers all of them. The last thing was 2 lessons. I just want to let you know, we're working on dates to go to the beach this year. Unfortunately, Wednesday, which was a kind of dance preferred day, our pretty Wednesdays, because the show was on. So I went to Dan and I asked about Monday. So this is where Janet Buhner would go in with me and it's picking up the Monday. They couldn't go last week.
Oh, yeah.
So, so we've got 2 days with 2 rain dates. Dan just got back to me this morning, so this week's fine. So the seniors get to use the lunch menu that the kids do for the beach program, which is like a same which is great, exchange and reserve
Mhm.
$5.
It'll be on Mondays.
Yeah, I've got 2 Mondays to those. Last thing you want to make you aware of is the HR coordinated a workshop for department heads called Building Cohesion, Creating a Respectful Workplace. And it was good. It was unfortunately good. Overly attended, I think. And I couldn't make the previous one, but a couple of something official, but it was still, it was very good. It was conflict resolution, things that we need to be reminded of, how that, you know, good practices. Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Donna, do you have anything for Tri Valley?
No, I left Tri Valley.
You left.
That's all right. It's okay.
I knew you were going to. I didn't know it already happened.
It's fine.
I wasn't giving them anything and they weren't.
And they weren't giving you anything either. So, no, that's a day out of your busy week that you don't need to go.
The only connection with them now are the meals.
Is that?
The only connection we have with them now are lunches. Hey, friends of Mendonma's report, I think there's something.
Amy's got,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
it was sent to her.
With the ad sale. Wonderful.
Yeah, and the weather helped.
It was a beautiful day.
Diane just arrived.
So they're going to do a fall sale.
Oh, hello. I'm sorry, I'm late. That's okay. No worries. Glad you're here.
We were just reviewing the
Friends,
friends report.
it's included because she couldn't make it today. All right, well, I was at the meeting anyway, so some of us were there and we've already heard it and everything, but it was very successful. So kudos to Carolyn and all the members of the Friends. Donna has withdrawn from that program.
Oh.
So we won't be adding that to our agendas anymore.
Okay, if nobody has any comments or additions to the friends report, we can move on to old business. Because we're going to be going into executive session at the end. We may be tabling some of these issues that are not crucial to the next meeting. But let's start with the food pantry update.
Good.
So we try to keep it two every 30 minutes, but sometimes.
I can see, because when you're filling an order, it takes, some orders take at least 30 minutes to fill. So, it's great. Well, there's certain things are very popular, and so you run out of them faster. Certain cereals, like they like, you run out of those faster.
Yeah, and wait till the kids are home all summer. You better stock up. Sounds like a market basket trip's in order.
Instant coffee is so expensive that maybe said a lot of times you can't get it at Market Basket. They're on brand. Yeah, if you go into Maxwell,
People use the instant coffee? They do.
they do. Yeah.
Did it increase on its own, or did you kind of bring in new people somehow?
Right?
Okay.
And they might see something that they need that they didn't write down. Don't we all do that at the store?
So they allowed to just
like walk up and
down and look and how much stuff can they take? Yeah. We have signs that'll say, if it's like, say it's baked beans, I'll give an example, baked beans, you're only allowed one of baked beans, but when it comes to the other beans, like the kidney beans and chickpeas and that.
Black bean.
Yeah, black bean, yeah, they can have more of those, but on the baked beans, because, they're expensive and you don't always have enough, so.
So we had a new can the other day and, we don't have 5 pounds this year.
They don't sell it's 4 pounds. 4 pounds.
Yeah.
So we got
Right. Those will be gone in no time. Yeah. Flour is all gone. You didn't realize flour was all gone.
Are we still only having Mendon residents? Okay.
They're making a big deal now in the news. I guess some research has been done that xylitol, which is in a lot of
We can't
baking
hear.
products.
Yeah,
those
we
that
can't
lead
see.
to heart attack.
Okay, xylitol, it's a sweetener.
Yeah.
What about xylitol? Yeah.
They say that research now shows that in the elderly it leads to heart attacks.
Oh,
Oh, geez.
So they're saying when you go shopping, you should try to avoid products that, the other sugar sweeteners are not that great either, but xylitol, I guess it's a.
Yeah.
I thought it was all right for dogs too.
It is bad. for
Yeah,
dogs.
if I buy
It's in
sugar,
toothpaste, it's in all kinds of
It's
different
supposed
things.
to be good for the
I
teeth.
just buy granulated sugar. I
That's
don't go
something that
for your teeth.
check out and they,
It's like good for like
You'll
an
go to-
animal,
you'll
but
go to the brand-
choose
go to
your
the
bat-
brand with-
choose your battles, right? Yeah.
Teeth, like
Exactly.
you're dead.
Yeah.
One thing they mentioned was chewable vitamins, and I
gummies, yeah.
take the, I get the one a day, but I did look at them and it did not have xylitol in it. Thank
Oh,
goodness.
thanks for telling us that.
I was just thinking in terms of the pantry, you might want to.
But toothpaste, I did, I forgot to check my toothpaste.
The reason I brought up, are we just doing Mendon residents? Is I met a lady who runs another food pantry in our area. And they had issues with people coming from other towns, giving erroneous addresses. And it was depleting their food pantry and they didn't have enough for the people that they serve. Even though they get a lot from the Boston Food Bank. So, we just were chatting and she was forthcoming with the information and she said it's increasing. And that's a town close to us.
We probably know everybody that comes in, don't we? And if you didn't, you could ask, couldn't you ask for proof of residence?
Yeah. Fuel system, sure, right, yes.
From us, okay. All right.
Okay, anything you want to talk about in senior expansion?
I will just say we met last night, by Zoom and, we know that the need is still there. There's no doubt about that. And, we went before the selectmen last week and they were all in favor of the committee continuing and they give us their full support. Now, because we want to show a good faith effort, we've asked the architect who was also on the call last night to try to bring the price down, okay, to maybe like 9 million or something, or 9 to 10 million. I got it, doesn't like the double digits. When he sees 10, he's okay with 99999, but he doesn't. If he sees the 10, he says that's kind of like a mental line in the sand. Anyway, so the only trouble that I see is that if you're gonna knock off like $4 million from the thing, we're gonna be losing a whole floor. And the idea of behind this building was that we were gonna have the top floor for the senior activities and the bottom floor for the food pantry, the community groups to use, storage, showers, things like that. So I don't know where it's gonna go. We have a lot of options we're thinking of, but we have to get money for us to pay the architect because he's gonna do a redesign. And so Amy did have money left over as she spoke of earlier, but it was suggested by
Mike Goddard.
Mike
suggested-
Goddard that there's a chance that we could use some funds that are going to become available in the free cash in July. Because it looks like the town may be asking Amy for that money back. So it's almost like we're not really borrowing it, but we would be returning money and using money that's available.
Right, it would be not from free cash, it would be asking about using FinCom reserve.
Oh, FinCom reserves.
Because that, at the end of the fiscal year, that money will go towards free cash. Anytime we use free cash, we have to go to town meeting, so that would be.
Oh, that would
That would
avoid
be
it.
like November. So there are trying to explore options that could get the funds before November. So that's, I mean, there are, so there's FinCom reserves and then there is ARPA money, but all of these have to go before the relevant boards to decide on it. So like, it is a possibility, but we can't speak for the boards until they've, discussed.
Right.
There were a lot of people I understand were not happy with the location it make any sense at all to try to get these people on board to reconsider the expansion of our present.
People were giving lots of ideas. I mean, I was writing very quickly because there's like, 10 or 12 people on the phone call and trying to keep track of it all. But Carolyn Berthall, she was at our second open house and she was asking a lot of good questions last night, kind of like what were the demographics of the people, that voted or that didn't vote, and what do they see? How can we get them on our side? And one of the suggestions is to have meetings like town hall meetings, having the selectmen and the FinCom be present, saying that they support it. So this was just a quick meeting last night, but the trouble is that the town meeting that passed just right on the nose, that answer is good until September 15th. And we don't think we can possibly get a separate ballot, which we'd have to pay for. It's like $6,000 to pay for the policemen, the ballots and everything before September 15th, because we're going into vacation time and truthfully, we are all pretty exhausted. And we've let our own families go by the wayside, and we've got to kind of do something about that. But anyway, so now we're looking towards November, because the consensus is if we wait until next spring, like May, there's going to be 3 or 4 other people vying for the money. And they've already been saying, you've already had your shot and you didn't get it.
Mhm.
So anyway, I'll have more to report next month, or Phil will be back
Yeah.
to report next month.
The other thing we have to worry about is if you have to cut it back too much, it's not worth it to build a whole new place. If it's gonna.
That's right.
Within a few years, it's gonna be.
Right, they were talking about, well, do we do it as phase 1 or phase 2? But his phase 1 is phase 2 in 15 years or in, we don't know. We're disappointed. One good idea that was given to me after the selectmen's meeting was that we should have had poll watchers. We should have designated a couple of people from the committee to sit in, and as people came in and voted, you just checked them off the list of people that you expected to come in and vote.
Right.
And by 5 o'clock at night, if they haven't come yet, and I'm thinking of Francis.
Phone calls.
Yeah. Yeah, and she hadn't sent in her ballot. So
Part of that is you got to compile that list moving, like in the weeks and months
Yes.
before, you have to make that list.
Yep.
And that is something that we didn't do either.
No.
So they go together.
I'm new to all this. I never was in a committee.
Alana, is it accurate information that now we have to wait 2 years?
No, that is not. That
is
that
not.
Who
is.
said that?
So there are some other questions, I think, relating to zoning bylaw changes. There's some other question, but this does not apply to that. So we spoke with town council. There is no waiting period to come back. We can come back as many times as the town wants to, and as basically, legally, we could go back and call an election right away. None of us wanted to do that, but legally we could do that. And especially with that passing at town meeting, that is an option that's written into the proposition 2.5 state laws. Very complicated set of laws of if this, it was like, it's
Yeah.
but so we don't have to wait 2 years. There are some other questions, I think, that have that 2-year waiting period, but not this
Not us.
category. So
We'll fill you in with more next month, because we've got a couple of things we've got to get through today.
Okay,
Yep.
do we want to do the pen pal program? Was that one?
Good. For September. Perfect.
It's gonna be. Oh.
And that's for the 4th grade?
No.
Oh,
8th graders, yeah. Good.
Okay, do we want to, table the transportation update till next time? Okay.
And, okay. And I think with the yard sale, I think we all know that it was a roaring success, so we don't have the final numbers. We could do that next month too, I would think.
Good.
It was roughly, yeah, but I'm sure Susan will give us the final figures next month.
What did they do with all the rest of the stuff that was left?
It's all boxed up and ready to go too. I loaded my car and went to Savers yesterday. Dropped off. They take everything.
And I was with Dottie yesterday after you had left. I picked Dottie up and we went down and I helped box and a
Yeah,
lot of stuff,
good.
everything.
Well, there's two trucks coming today. Chase, Dick Chase and Walter Ramsey.
Okay.
So they're gonna load those two trucks and that should take care of the rest of it.
Good.
There's a lot of stuff down there.
That's wonderful.
Johnny Gasso told me yesterday that the money they made is enough to cover all of next year, next.
Yeah, all the entertainments and stuff. Wonderful. Okay.
Okay, summer programs, cookout, tea, and ice cream social.
Well, I'll work with you on. Yeah, okay. I'll work with you on the cookup. That's the 17th of July.
It's the 17th.
We cooking? You and me cooking? We're cooking. Yes, please.
How many people do you need, Amy?
Well, not as many, but the day of.
Yeah,
yeah.
Things like that.
Okay,
Yeah. I'll do that.
yeah, I'll help. Okay, good.
What day of the week is it?
It's Wednesday,
Wednesday.
17th of July.
It's a Wednesday.
We usually set up the day before.
Oh.
So you could help with that.
Yeah. Or even in the kitchen, if I could sit down and cut something up or whatever, I'll be glad to do.
Sometimes people take the stuff home and bring it in the next day. I think I think you've done that.
That's
Well, Mary
easy.
Ann used to do that with the.
That's easier.
The onions.
Then you get to use your own knife.
Yeah, right. So,
Your own kitchens, watching your own TV.
yep. Yes. That's July 28th. It's a Sunday. Nice. I'd say Outpost Farm. I mean, we can't go wrong. No one's ever complained about them. And you're gonna be playing, so you get to pick the pies. Yeah, I'll be there. No worries, worries.
And what day is that?
It's a Sunday, the 28th.
Of July?
When's the ice cream social?
That is August. 21st of August, and we have a banjo player.
And the senior teas at 2:00. Right?
Usually it is at 2, yeah. We get there earlier to get everything set up. That's right.
So,
Yeah, so the setup would be the 20th. What time are we doing the ice cream social? Did you decide? Okay. I'll let Joe know. I told him he could bring his wife.
Okay, so that takes care of old business for this week. Now we're going to go on to new business and staff vacations.
Okay. Yeah.
writing something else.
All right, that's okay.
How's Julie working out?
She worked out very well. Very organized. She is so punctual. I have not had a great day about having lunch there. I think she worked, long enough to see her. She's totally right at the pace. What are people's names? I think she's doing okay.
When is she on vacation?
The 22nd.
And Janet Hume is on vacation when?
Well, end of the
Oh,
month.
June.
Yeah,
Okay,
24th through the 28th.
That,
Janet.
Yeah.
Janet Hubener.
I was writing something else. I
It's
just
okay.
started giving those dates off.
The guy, I said he's gonna take a long weekend, but he works Monday, Tuesday, so he's vacation, so it shouldn't impact. us.
How about you?
I'm gonna be- It's like- It's August 5th.
5th and 12th. Okay, great.
It's obviously pantry. I think it was. And Sean hasn't asked for them.
Good. You deserve it. You all deserve it.
And what about Wayne? What did you say about
He
Wayne?
said to do long weekends, so that would be absence.
Oh,
Where you drive them.
oh, yeah.
Okay, Mendon Minstrel's fall schedule.
Yeah, just, I'll tell you, I didn't live to these days.
Yeah, me too.
Very responsive, he and I went back and forth, and while he's traveling to Georgia, to see his family. He's, he and I went. He had left some dates, kind of take them a little bit, they're gonna start earlier than usual, start Monday, September 9th. This fall, they're gonna be doing, it was always kind of, they're doing either a fall program or a winter concert, Christmas concert. The district is gonna do both of those in addition to veterans.
Oh, so Veterans Fall and it's Christmas. Oh, wow.
So we come up with dates, there's no dates in October, but in November, we'll have the veterans program. On the 8th.
Yeah.
As I heard, outlined folks. And the fall program, he decided, between the two of us, the 21st. It gives the minstrels a little bit of time.
21st of what month?
October.
November.
First. That's the one on all the program meeting on schools, because they usually do a lot of things. So we've got 2 days in mind. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Again, the theme is dream. So we just dream.
Oh, I see the Everly brothers in my future.
Right.
Oh, I was.
Yeah, I was happy this year, yeah.
I thought it was, he was very, supportive of us. When he would make a suggestion, he never made it sound like it was a criticism that,
Right.
you should do better, or you're gonna, but, and I think we followed him very well when he would say, hold out a note at the end or something, everybody did it,
Mhm,
so.
Okay, can we skip anything else?
Okay, yeah, what's their, they,
But the meetings this year, some people haven't been. We had senior, quite higher on the list, started to go up, it just stopped. And, so when we came, we said that the motor is so old, so they expect it needs to be 19.
Yeah.
And so.
So
Some of the seniors had said to me, they're also concerned about the spin, of bulk maintenance. They make them smaller, and they do. I've got a client here. An updated model that won't take up quite so much space, but it's something we have to certainly think about these things. What is it? They're not free. They did have we did have a use in the only year old. Something like that is going to be $3,000.
That installation, and all that.
Yeah, well, no, I think that included installation.
Oh.
We were one. We're gonna need, we need the building. I'm certainly asking. I didn't question the streets.
Another reason why we need a new center. I mean, this is all the reasons.
Yeah.
We're falling apart down there. All right.
So that's that.
Yeah, let's revisit that next month.
And volunteer appreciation, cultural grants.
Push that. What time to push that along?
This is the time to kind of think about our next year, come up with our entertainment. And just so we can have something ready for, for an artist to buy October.
Okay.
So we can wait till.
Yeah, I think so.
I just want to think about the.
Open forum,
I got nothing.
anybody? Open forum? Okay, then we're going to adjourn. Oh, the next meeting is July 10th. And we're going to adjourn the regular meeting now. All in favor of?
Aye.
adjourning? Aye.
Have a good
You have a wonderful vacation. We have to pick the senior of the year, so we have to do
Yes,
that
I
in
know.
executive session. Okay,
Did you
take
have a
care.
nice birthday?